Hello students, welcome to the data encryption uh, part because now today onwards we will be starting with the encryption part. As your subject says, it is data compression and encryption, and I had told you in the introductory class we will be doing one chapter from the compression and one chapter from the encryption or one chapter from the cryptography. So we have finished with our text compression part. We have studied all the dictionary techniques. So now we will move ahead with the cryptography part. So I have given the slide and I think you must have observed in the previous videos also. When I write L10 or that is the after the title, here lecture 10 means whatever lecture plan I have prepared according to me. This topic I should be covering in the 10th lecture and this is the first part of that particular video. So let's start with the cryptography. First thing, cryptography, as the name says, crypto. So I think everybody is very familiar with this word. That crypto is, I will like to write something in a cryptic manner. What do you mean by cryptic manner? Uh, it will not be easily understood what I want to convey. That is a cryptography, or that is a cryptic matter. So when I say nobody will understand, that means only the receiver should be able to understand that there has been a message which has been altered in a such a way that other peoples are not able to read. So many people confuse this cryptography word with a steganography. So let us see what is a steganography. Steganography, it is the art and science of writing hidden messages in a such a way that no one apart from the sender and intended recipient suspects the existence of the message, a form of security through obscurity. Now how does it is different from the cryptography? So cryptography is when I'm jumbling some letters and I'm giving a message to you. The other party can see that it is jumbled, but they will not be able to retrieve the message. So cryptography, when we do, it is a well-known fact. Many people see that the message has been encrypted or message has been crypted, but they are not able to decrypt it. Steganography is when I'm passing a check to you, the other person doesn't know that I have passed a check to you. I have written certain message for you. So normally in the classroom, when you do that chit passing, that is a steganography. You feel that I have not come to know. Okay. So and what is a cryptography? When I give you any kind of, when I suppose you have done certain mistake, you have written in your answer sheet something which is I mean it is very what you have written is not normal, or it's I can make fun of it. So when I come to the class in the next day, I pass a general comment that people write like this. So when I say people write like this, I have passed this comment to the entire class. But only one person knows that who has written in that way, this message is for him. That is a cryptography. So I hope the difference is clear. What is a cryptography and steganography? Steganography is another beautiful branch where people, they are trying their level best to develop this technique so that the messages can be passed without people noticing it. So we will have some examples. Now see the a plain English sentence. Since everyone can read, encoding text in a neutral sentences is doubtfully effective. I think on the same background, on the introduction to cryptography, I have made one animated video also. I hope everybody has seen that particular video. Still, we will be going through the same examples, or still I'll be elaborating more on every topic. So, what is a hidden message here? See, for me, for others, if you don't know that this is a steganography, it is a very plain English sentence. We cannot have any other message from it. But receiver knows what they are supposed to retrieve from it. So they are supposed to retrieve a first letter of every word. So if I write down on a separate page the first letter of every word, it is a secret inside. Okay, so that is a steganography. One very famous para from a Sherlock Holmes book. So just go through this para. I will wait for a few minutes so that you can finish reading this and you have to tell me what is the message which has been conveyed by this para. So I will also read it with you. Greetings to all at Oxford. Many thanks for your letter and for the summer examination package. All entry forms and fees forms should be ready for final dispatch to the syndicate by Friday. By Friday 20th, or at the very latest, I am told by 21st. Admin has improved here, though there is room for improvement still. Just give us all 2 or 3 more years and we will really show you. Please don't let this wretched 16th proposal destroy your basic question and answer pattern. Certainly, this sort of change, if implemented immediately, would bring a chaos. Sincerely yours. So, can you guess what is the message which has been passed here? Okay. So, I hope you have read this again and again. Now, let me show you what is the message which has been passed. So, just read these first. Your package ready Friday 21st, room number 3. Please destroy this immediately. Okay, so this is my message which I have been conveyed with the steganography. It looks very interesting, but we are not going to study it. We will be studying cryptography, which is equally interesting when you will solve the problems on it. So, the background, why this new branch has been developed or why we require it. Information security requirements have changed in recent times. People are storing their information in new way. People are creating their information, generating their information in a new way. So more specifically in a more digital manner. So nowadays everything, every document which I want, I have it on my drive. I say I don't say I have it in my locker. I don't say I have it in my file. I don't say it is there at my home. You ask me any important document, whether it is Aadhaar, passport, anything. So I have it on a Google. So I want what wherever I have kept my document should be a secured one. Apart from me, nobody should be able to view it. Nobody should be able to download it. Traditionally, it was provided by physical and administrative mechanism. That means initially I used to store this my document in a foil, in a plastic covers, in a hardbound file. That file used to be in a locker. Locker used to have a key. So now these still, of course, their locker systems are there where we keep other more important things. But as far as data is concerned, definitely things have changed. Now, computer use requires automated tools to protect files and other stored information. So, computer use, because everything which I store, which I create, which I generate is stored in this black box. So, I want somebody to come forward and develop a security which can protect my this black box. Use of networks and communication links requires the measure to protect the data during transmission. This one is more recent because now everything we are transmitting online, we are downloading online. I want whenever I'm sending a data, I want whenever I'm downloading a data, the data should be protected during that time also. So it is not only where the place I'm storing, but whenever I'm transmitting to somebody, whenever the data is leaving from my particular source and reaching to some other destination, then also I want that it should be a protected one. So certain definitions, or we talk about security, we can generalize this security in 3 terms. One you have computer, another you have network, and then you have internet security. So computer security, it is more generic name because I am interested wherever I am storing this data. According to me, I am storing in this particular black box or a computer. So I want this computer should be secured one, or the whatever I am storing in this particular computer should not be it should not be accessible to other. That is what I meant, or nobody should be able to change it. Then I have a network security. This talks in terms of more of your transmission. When I'm transmitting my data, the way I told you, when I'm transmitting my documents to you, when I'm transmitting my files to you, so during the transmission also I want it should be secured one. And internet, definitely everything now happens with the help of internet. So when I say internet, there are multiple computers which are taking part in this process. So there will be multiple computers which will be handling my data. There are multiple computers through which my data is going from one place to another. So I want at every place the security should be there. What we will be doing in this particular course, what we are expected in this particular subject is the internet security. Now what do you mean by internet security, or when I say word internet security, it consists of measures of deter, prevent, detect and correct security violations that involve the transmission and storage of information. That means I should be able to, first of all, I should be able to prevent. So if I'm saying that I should be able to prevent, I should know what are the things which can go wrong, and then I have to find out a way in which it can be prevented. If I'm not able to do so, if I fail to do so, at least I should be able to detect that somebody is there who is playing with my data, and correct security violations. So if I have already made a security measurements, I have already made sure that my data, the computer, the network has a security, then I should be able to find out what are the security violations that can happen, which involves the transmission and storage of the information. So when we talk about security, these are the three goals which are expected when I say security is there. So you have confidentiality of the data, you have integrity of the data, and then you have availability of the data. So going forward to the confidentiality. So what is a confidentiality? That whatever data I propose, whatever data I'm sending it to you, other people should not able to access this, other people should not able to view it. Confidentiality also can be, one part of confidentiality can be a privacy. So when I say privacy, now everybody says that whatever, when you log into your Android phone, every data what you enter is there with the Google. So if I'm accessing a Google account, if I'm giving a permission, that means I have said that okay, only Google can access my data. So no other email server, no other operating system should have access to my data. So confidentiality is I decide or the user decides who can access, who can view, who can find out if the data is there. That is your confidentiality. So we need to protect our confidential information. An organization, if we take an example, an organization needs to guard against those malicious actions that endanger the confidentiality of its information. So depending upon the organization, depending upon the people, the confidentiality criteria will change. For example, if we talk about our educational institution, so whatever your grades are there, they should be accessible only to you and as far as possible to your parents and probably the companies which hire you. It should not be accessible to everybody else. They need not see your grades. Even if they don't, they will not make any use of it. But the purpose is why they should be accessible to anybody else. So depending upon the application, depending upon the organization, the confidentiality parameter will change. Now, what do you mean by integrity? Integrity is whenever I say that particular file has been uploaded and when you download it, the content should be same. It should not be changed. Okay, that is the meaning of integrity. So when we say that this particular video was made for 15 slides, the duration was 10 minutes, and I have given you the flow in which the PPT is there. So when you download it, it should have the same content. The 15 slide duration of the video should not be changed. That is the integrity. But when I say the data should not be changed, it doesn't mean that if I have made a video, I am also not able to change. Integrity means that the change needs to be done only by authorized entity and through the authorized mechanism. If I have the one who has created this data, I should be able to change it from my particular PC or from where I have access. That is the integrity. So when you are doing something, when you are creating something, or when you are, suppose you are saying that you have created a bank account and you have taken an internet banking, so at least you should be able to have access to that internet banking where you can go to your profile and you are able to change your mobile number. That is the integrity of the data. Nobody else, even the bank official, should not be able to change your data. Yes, the bank official will have access to your bank account where whatever you deposit, whatever you withdraw, they are able to change the bank balance in your passbook. That is the integrity. Now availability, very important term. The information created and stored by an organization needs to be available to authorized entities. It should be whatever, suppose for example Google. Now what is the main purpose of Google server? It should be able to search whatever things we are asking. So Google needs to be accessible, Google needs to be available by 24/7. So when I say information, for example, our college portal. So when the portal has been created, you have been given a login ID and user ID. It is not possible to write that the Moodle will be accessible only from 8:30 to 4:30. It should be available to you anytime when you want. Whatever PPTs we are uploading, whatever data we are giving, it should be available throughout the day, throughout the year, throughout the months. Okay. So that is availability. Now, why these terms we have discussed? Because when we say security, that means on these parameters, the security can be compromised. What do you mean by this? When I say I'm attacking on availability. So what I'll be doing, I know Google gives you a search engine. So I'll be attacking a Google so that it is not giving you intended service. That is the meaning of the security compromise. So aspect of the security, in what way we can deal with the security? You have security attack, we can have mechanism and the services. So security attack, any action that compromises the security of information owned by an organization. Information security is about to prevent attack or failing that to detect the attacks and information based system. I already told you that when we say you have to prevent the attack, if you're not able to do it, at least find out when the attack is happening. Okay, so that is the thing. Often threat and attack are used to mean the same thing. So we will be using sometime threat, some we will be using attack as a word sentence. So we have variety range of attacks, and every day it is get one or the other attack gets added into the database. We normally classify attacks in two terms, passive and active. So passive is a very general term. Passive is the person who's attacking your information is only interested in finding out what is your information. So probably when I say that you are writing certain test and I can see when I do a supervision, I'm only supervising. Suppose a person who is doing a supervision cannot understand what you are doing, or it is not a technical expert. So it will only supervise what you people are doing. That is a passive attack. It is only, we can only view. So sorry, I think that will not be called as attack because that is a important job that person is doing. So let me think of some other example. When I think I'll give you more example of passive. And active is when I want to change the data which you are, I want to change the information which you have stored somewhere. So passive is only an observer who keeps an eye on you, what you are doing, how you are doing, where are you storing your information, your full day activity. Suppose for example, a person observes you for 24/7. So he is only keeping a track, what is your daily schedule, what are the things which you do, what are the things which you, how many friends you have, how many times you go out. Active is after doing that, I'm trying to disturb your schedule. I try to take advantage of your information. That is your active attack. In terms of technology or in terms of technique, more technical terms, the attacks can be classified as cryptoanalytic and non-cryptoanalytic. Now, what do you mean by this? When I study all these cryptography techniques, that gives me idea how the data is encrypted, how the data is stored, and then I try to find out the information. That is a cryptoanalytic attack. So more engineers will be doing a cryptoanalytic attack because they have a information about cryptography. Non-crypto attack, I just try to guess. Sorry for this spelling mistake here. Non-crypto analytic is when I don't have any information about cryptology and I just randomly try to attack your information. That is my crypto analytic attack. So see what kind of attacks or general attacks, how they are classified. So this is what our security goals, that confidentiality, integrity, and threat availability. So you can have snooping, you can have traffic analysis, modification, masquerading, replaying, repudiation, denial of service. So these are different attacks which has been mentioned. The attacks are not only limited to this. Let me tell you this. So every day, every this thing, the new attack gets added to the database, because the way people are storing their information, the way people are uploading their information, the ways are changing, and similarly, the people who try to attack, try to steal this information, they are also finding a new way to do this. So let us stop at this moment for this particular video. We will be again going ahead with all these attacks in a detail and what does it every attack means. So thank you.